Hello, Kuna. I'm going to be doing about kind of like 3 money quotes from this interview that was done between Trent Clark and News Talk Radio. It was more, I guess, a debate than an interview. Just some summary on Trent Clark. I mean, he's been involved in Idaho politics for quite a bit. He was like the president of IACI, which is essentially the Idaho Chamber of Commerce. And he was elected as chair in 1998 for the Idaho Republican Party and won re-election in 2000. And recently he is one of the founders of Gem State Conservatives, which is currently trying to unseat PCs, competing on the political, the PCO, the Precinct Committeemen. I think the officers, I'm not sure if that's what it means, on the precinct level. And just to provide a review, precinct committeemen basically vote on the policies of the Republican Party. And, one of the big controversies has been how the Republican Party, as a private organization, is starting to hold accountable the politicians who have the title of Republican but do not necessarily uphold the platform values. So, this is the list of precinct committeemen related to CUNA, that Ada County Conservatives, which is a informal organization with their endorsements for people who are willing to hold elected politicians accountable to the Republican platform. Now, this is directly in conflict with the way things have always been done. So Trent Clark represents the old guard. He laughs at the term establishment, but that is kind of the best way to put it. So here are the quotes from here, and you can go through it here. I'm going to put some links to it, to the original one, and then also I uploaded the audio to Substack. So if you don't want to dig through it, I didn't even listen to all of it. I just read through it, and then the parts that stood out, I'm highlighting the audio. So it's pretty. Most of it is just like convoluted. But anyway, here let's go. Let's just start. Here it is.
The description of also the flipping precinct positions. No, that never was the goal. The goal was to say, what we want to do is go back to where these precinct committee people are not power brokers. They're servants. They're servants of their precinct. They do the things like call up the legislator and say, hey, we're here working on this bill. It doesn't really work for us in our community. Would you mind coming and listening to our concerns? That's what a precinct committee person is supposed to do, is be the one who reaches out and gets the policymaker and says, would you please come and listen to the Republicans of my precinct? They're a servant. They work for their Republicans. And by the way, the characterization of these folks that I've reached out to as, quote, the establishment, we all laugh at that, because you have to understand how we got into the mess that we're in. The hard workers, these are the people who, what they do is they blow up balloons. They lick envelopes. They walk door to door and drop off literature bags.
Okay, so that's the first quote, and emphasis, I guess, on his view of the proper role of precinct committeemen, which I thought was particularly humorous. And if you listen to the full audio, they did as well.
The hard workers, these are the people who, what they do is they blow up balloons. They lick envelopes. They walk door to door and drop off literature bags.
So yeah, that's them pushing back. All right, here's the second one.
In almost every case, we just went to counties and we said, do your Republicans of your county really control your county central committee? And if they said yes, we said, great, that's a good thing. Are you finding that that's stable? They'd say yes, and we were fine. But if the people who we talk to, and when we're talking to people, we're talking to the balloon blower uppers that I know from 20 years ago.
Okay, Trent, I got to stop you again. You got to quit calling them that. That is so denigrating.
Oh, see that, Julie, that's the problem, is to refer to the people who do the grassroots work as denigrating because they do the grassroots work. For the longest time, you knew you were a good PC because you knew what a good cookie tastes like. Because the one thing that PCs have always done is you're trying to get people together to do party activities. What brings people together? Cookies.
All right,
So,
Trent.
so a good PC worker was someone who brought good cookies. That's how it was. Is
Trent,
this job was
I
about the
we're
service that you do.
we are
All right, no, these are not AI generated. Okay, he actually said that a good PC is measured by how good of cookies, how good of a cookie taster you are, and what he said, balloon filler uppers. Is that the word he said? Yeah, balloon blower uppers. Excuse me, not filler uppers. Yeah, and if you doubt that this is AI generated, you can actually just do quotes or search here. So this is from part one. Those two clips were from part one. And then we're going to go to part two. And of course, yeah, the interviewers or interrogation, I don't know how you would say it, they were definitely pushing back. So here's the third one from
but
part
is
two.
is Gem State conservative candidates, are they expected to be platform agnostic then?
Okay, so this is in regards to what is the role of the Republican Party, right? The Idaho Republican Party. You have the precinct committeemen elected for the Ada County level precinct committeemen or their districts, District 23 in this case, and then I believe they vote on their own delegates to go to the state level party, and from the state level they actually establish the policy. So the constant criticism that Trent Clark and numerous others candidate Sean Digert running against Tina Lambert, he's saying that there is a central committee that is telling politicians what to do, and they don't like that. So this is kind of where they started going back and forth. So here's that.
Is Gem State conservative candidates, are they expected to be platform agnostic then?
They are expected to work for the precinct voters who elected them.
Which is
The
platform agnostic, right?
Well, no, this platform agnostic thing is so ridiculous. The platform is actually supposed to be the promise of the candidates. And one of the problems I have is, did you know that our last platform committee, we didn't invite any candidates into the room? Now that, by the way, that's a travesty. Because how can you commit somebody to something they didn't even have a hand in writing? So in my opinion, the way this should work is you bring the candidates in with the party, and the party says, "Hey, we want to hold you to a standard, and we're going to write this, and it's going to be what we run this general election on, and you're going to walk out, and we're going to say you need to promise to uphold these principles. We're going to write this in our platform. Are you right now going to tell us you'll carry that? You'll go into the legislature and you'll pass these bills?" And by the way, right there, the candidates can say, "No, I'm not willing to do that." And then you don't put that in your platform, because if you've got something in your platform that your candidates are not willing to carry, as a party, you're lying to people. See, you need to write your platform with your candidate.
But you're
Okay, so that tends to be more of the opposite of what I think you would say the liberty-minded Republicans. The push is to, or what's been happening is that from the precinct level, they are now holding these Republican politicians accountable. So from his description, it's very clear. At the top, of course, you have the electorate always. And then secondarily are the politicians that are elected by the electorate. And then the party platform, or the Republican Party, sits subordinate as a servant to the politicians. And basically, they set their policy. What he's saying, see, you need to write your platform with your candidate. You need to allow the elected politicians to dictate what the Republican Party is going to be. So it's basically the opposite of what is understood by what you would say the liberty-minded individuals, because the term that gets thrown out a lot is Republican in name only. So who gets to determine what is a Republican? And what, based off of the structure that Trent Clark is describing, the Republican platform ultimately is decided by the elected politicians, which, creates this circular loop of there are no standards. And that was kind of, when you listen to the interview, there was a lot of pushback on that. They went into overtime with the Facebook stream. So there's two parts. I'll link that. So this is what I don't know. You can interpret it the way you want. These are just the quotes, and have a good one. Bye bye.